What's up, fight fans, and welcome back to the MMA Time. Let's start with the man who's been on a mission to conquer the entire sport, Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat recently admitted something that confirms what many fans have suspected for a long time. Khamzat's coach recently revealed a shocking plan. He knows it's only a matter of time before he's forced to change divisions. The weight cuts are brutal, the competition keeps evolving, and Khamzat isn't the type of fighter who stays comfortable for long. He's openly said his dream isn't just to dominate one weight class. He wants two, maybe even 3 belts before it's all said and done. That kind of ambition is rare, and it tells you exactly how he sees his career.
We're just seeing things how it's going. You know, we take as it's coming, but of course, there will be a time that we're gonna be forced to change division. Khamzat have the dream to become 2 divisions or 3 divisions champion, and the focus now is to go through that.
But here's the catch. Dreams like that don't come without risks. Moving up could mean tougher opponents, heavier shots, and less control in the cage. Still, Khamzat's confidence is sky high, and if history has shown us anything, it's that the fighters who dare to chase greatness are the ones who change the sport. As soon as the news broke, the MMA community split down the middle. Some fans praised Khamzat's ambition, saying this is exactly the kind of energy that makes him special, a fighter who refuses to settle. But plenty of others saw it differently, blasting him for arrogance, calling him entitled, and saying he hasn't even proven himself against the very best yet. Social media went wild with takes from people crowning him already to others claiming his attitude could be his downfall. But Khamzat isn't the only one planning something massive for the future. Jon Jones, a name that always stirs headlines, recently shut down one of the biggest rumors surrounding him. Despite whispers of retirement, Jones was quick to remind everyone that he's still in the thick of it. Training 5 days a week, fully active in the UFC's drug testing pool. He's not done, not even close. When asked about the status of his next fight, Jones admitted it's out of his control. He's preparing, staying sharp, but ultimately the decision rests with the boss.
Let's get to a little fight news really quick. So there's a lot of rumors out there. Let's just spell a couple of them. First and foremost, are you retired?
I am not retired. I'm actively training 5 days a week, and I'm in the UFC's drug testing pool.
Great. And what's the status of the fight at the White House?
I don't really know. It's kind of out of my control right now. I'm training for the event. I'll be ready for the event. That's my goal. That's my intention. But ultimately, it's up to the boss.
That uncertainty leaves fans restless, because whenever Jon Jones steps into the octagon, it's more than just a fight, it's a spectacle. But while fans wait for his official return, another rumor involving combat sports legends has left the MMA community divided. And this one might be the wildest of them all. Reports surfaced about a potential boxing showdown in 2026 between Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson. Yes, you heard that right. Tyson would be 59, Mayweather close to 50. The thought alone split fans instantly. Some see it as a cash grab, others as a bizarre dream matchup. UFC referee John McCarthy didn't hold back, blasting the idea and flat out saying it's not a fight. To him, it's nothing more than entertainment dressed up as competition. He even joked that Floyd couldn't hurt Tyson if he tried. And let's be honest, there's a strong chance he's right. Still, fans know how this works. Curiosity sells, nostalgia sells, and controversy sells even more. If the fight does happen, no matter how ridiculous it sounds, millions will tune in.
Apparently in 2026, we're going to see Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson in the squared circle. What do you guys think about that?
That's ridiculous. What do I think about it? Blah. I'm sorry. Done. Yeah.
John, I get where you're coming from, but I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
Go ahead.
Mike Tyson, make that money, man.
Oh, no, I have no problem with Mike making the money. Is it something I want to watch? No.
But you will.
No, I don't think I will.
Oh, well then, John, that means I got to carry the weight to talk about it.
Again.
You're going to talk. Yeah, I'm going to send you the streaming link. Don't worry. We got it. I think that's what, look, let me just throw this out there. I think that's why the ESPN app had so many problems today. They shut down the biggest streaming app there was, apparently. This is what I just heard the other day. They shut down the biggest streaming app in the world, and I think all of a sudden people were like, oh, I can't stream it. And they have to actually go to the app and watch it. I think that's why.
Too much business, huh?
Too much business.
I like it.
Maybe I'm far-fetched. Who knows?
I don't know.
What you don't like the fight?
No, it's not a fight.
So what's going to happen? I know it's not a fight. It's a
well. Let's be honest. Even at Tyson will end up being what, 59 years old by the time the fight takes place.
I think can't be. Well, yeah.
58, 59.
Yeah.
Even at that, advanced age, because what I want to say, Mayweather's close to 50. He's coming up on it, but Mayweather couldn't hurt fucking Tyson if he allowed him to just sit there and hit him the first round without touching him. He just doesn't hit hard. Okay, he's not a power hitter, so I just look at it. That Floyd is getting on the phone and Mike is getting on the phone, and they're saying, okay, then hey, I'm not going to hit you hard. We'll just do this, we'll do that, we'll make it look good. So it's not a fight.
But if you think that's strange, wait until you hear the real reason why one UFC fighter won't stop barking in the cage. Gene Silva has caught attention for something unusual, barking during his fights. Many fans thought it was a strange gimmick, maybe a way to throw off opponents. But Silva finally opened up, and the truth behind it is raw and emotional. He explained that the barking connects him to his late brother. They grew up with a dog, and that memory became tied to the feeling of strength and resilience. Every time Silva barks, it brings him back to his brother, to those childhood moments, and to the emotions that fuel him today. It's not an act, it's a release, a reminder, and a way to carry his brother into battle with him. Suddenly, what looked bizarre on the surface turns into a powerful story of family, grief, and resilience.
Acho como se fosse tique nervoso de ficar fazendo isso. É isso.
It's gonna get tougher, actually. It's gonna get tougher because my brother's there with me. That's when that bark, I'm closer to my brother than I ever was, because he had a dog, and that's what it was, and feeling bullied when we were young and everything, and that dog, every time I think of it, that when that barking comes up, I have the mental image. I'm with him. He's closer to me than I've ever been, and that barking, that's what it is an expression of emotions, and it just takes me back to that time, and that's it. That's just pure emotion.
And while Silva uses emotion as fuel, another MMA voice stirred up controversy by questioning the legacy of one of the sport's most untouchable icons, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Joe Rogan recently revisited one of Khabib's most debated fights, his early clash with Gleison Tibau. To this day, some argue Tibau should have won that decision. Rogan didn't hold back, admitting he believed Khabib lost that fight. Now let's be clear, this was long before Khabib captured the lightweight title and established his legendary unbeaten run. But the fact that even Rogan points to that moment shows just how razor-thin the margins can be in MMA. Khabib went on to dominate world-class opponents, retire undefeated, and cement his legacy. But debates like this remind fans that no career is without controversy.
You look at Khabib's got an undefeated record. There's an asterisk, and that asterisk is Gleison Tibau. That was a very close fight that I thought Khabib lost, but it was early in Khabib's career. It was before he won the title.
But to your point, Khabib 55, biggest at the championship level.
Yeah, I
Tibau
guess.
was never world class.
No, he was world class, but he was never.
Well, I'm talking world class in the 55 division, top 5. He was never tip of the spear.
Well, if you think that he almost won or could have won, he definitely could have gotten that decision over Khabib. He's right up
Close,
there.
yeah.
But he's
early in Khabib's career, to your point.
Their 55 is way bigger than Khabib.
After a while, those guys, their body just can't do it anymore.
No.
It's how many fights can you have where you can still fight at your potential? Look at the size of Tibau.
That's so
Yo. He had a perfect physique.
Well, the craziest thing to me is Pereira making 85.
Oh, that's the nuttiest.
That's the nuttiest.
Hands.
Still, if Rogan's comments shook fans, Daniel Cormier's revelation about John Jones sent shockwaves of its own. Cormier, who knows Jones better than almost anyone, revealed what he believes is John's biggest fear, Francis Ngannou. According to DC, if Jones had ever fought Francis, his wrestling would be the only path to victory. Francis's raw power is simply unmatched. Cormier recalled seeing Ngannou knock opponents unconscious with terrifying force, the kind of power that doesn't just end fights, it changes careers. The thought of Jones, the most talented fighter in UFC history, being one punch away from disaster is the type of scenario that fans dream about but will probably never see. Still, just imagining it adds to the mystique of Jones's legacy.
Francis Ngannou. Talk about Francis fighting John.
I do believe that if he fought John can wrestle. He probably would just take Francis down. I think Francis would have to knock him out. But Francis could knock people out, man. I've never seen anybody hit harder than Francis Ngannou. He's got the most power I've ever seen in my life. He be knocking dudes out. He hit Alistair Overeem. The back of his head touched between his shoulders as he was falling down. I've never seen anything like it.
But while that hypothetical stays locked in fantasy, another fighter recently exposed a rival's mindset in real time, and it wasn't pretty. Nasruddin Imavov opened up about his fight with Caio Borralho, and what he described wasn't just physical, it was mental. Imavov claimed he could feel Borralho breaking down during the fight. By the end of the second round, Borralho wasn't even engaging anymore. He walked back to his corner before the bell, body language showing defeat before the fight was even over. For Imavov, that was all the confirmation he needed. His strikes were landing, his opponent had no solutions, and the mental collapse sealed the outcome. It's a brutal insight into what happens inside the cage, where mindset can be just as important as skill.
What did you think about this fight, right? Because I was listening to Caio's interview after the fight, and he was talking about how he lost his adrenaline. He just couldn't get motivated once he was in there. And there was a certain moment in the fight, I think it was at the end of the second round, there might have been 10 seconds left, and he didn't even look towards you. There was 10 seconds left and he kind of was already walking to his corner. So could you kind of feel him disengaging and kind of breaking down as the fight went on?
Il y a une semaine, j'étais beaucoup plus déterminé. Je pensais qu'il allait me rentrer dedans. Mais voilà, à chaque fois que je le touchais, il a essayé de bouger énormément et essayer d'éviter la distance de frappe.
Yeah, I felt it. I felt he was a lot more motivated a week before the fight. During the fight, it was more difficult, and I felt like every time I touched him, it was difficult for him. But you know, when there is no solution for the opponent, it's very difficult to stay motivated.
But Imavov isn't the only one speaking bluntly about his rivals. Paddy Pimblett, never one to stay quiet, just sent a message to Ilia Topuria. Pimblett admitted that his striking didn't feel sharp during recent training, but he didn't sound worried. Why? Because his grappling, in his words, is unstoppable. Pimblett warned that once he gets an opponent to the ground, they're not getting back up. He even compared his smothering top game to what we saw recently from Dricus Du Plessis, suffocating rivals until they break. To Paddy, that's the difference maker against Topuria. He doesn't need to win every striking exchange. He just needs to drag the fight into his world.
5 rounds in the bag there. Striking time, it doesn't feel there at the minute, to be honest. Last week, my striking time, it felt good, and I've done 5 rounds with Luke, so it's just probably woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. Obviously, I've got to get that striking time better if I'm fighting El Chirizo. That's a lot what I'm going to work on, but my grappling always feels phenomenal. I just see in them rounds, lad, when I get people on the floor, they don't get up, lad. Smother people, like Khamzat against DDP the weekend. Once I get you down and I'm on top of you and I'm smothering you, lad, you're not getting up, lad. I'm controlling you, I'm making you feel my weight and making you feel some shots at the same time. That's the thing, lad, when I get on top of someone, you're not getting up.
It's a bold statement, but that's classic Pimblett. Never short on confidence, always ready to add fuel to a rivalry. And that's the chaos swirling in the MMA world right now. The UFC isn't just about the fights we see on Fight Night, it's about the stories, the rivalries, and the unpredictable twists that no one sees coming. So the question is, which of these stories will define the next era of MMA? And as always, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the wild world of MMA, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you don't miss the next update.